You were mentioning about the athletes finishing fourth or not being into the medal bracket in Paris, especially. We saw Lakshya Sen almost winning it, but he lost the bronze, leading, but lost to Victor Axelsen. What is it? Is it mentally? I don't think it has got anything to do with his skills. Has it got anything to do with mental? What does a sportsman go through in such moments? If both of you can answer.
Probably directed John, but I'll just take a quick stab. I think John touched on it. I think it's exposure, and I think one of the things we've tried to do at Reliance Foundation is we've really tried to expose our athletes to overseas competitions, to different environments, uncomfortable environments. Going, and if they're the best athlete in India, that's great, but let's go and throw you in where you're the 8th fastest athlete in a race of 8 and see how you survive, and I just think that's the way forward. I think there's only so much you can do in the country you're from, and that goes for any country. It's nothing against India. If you're to be successful internationally, you have to get somewhat comfortable competing at the highest levels. We've just come back from the World University Games in Germany, and our athletes were woefully unprepared, because in Germany at the World University Games the rules are very, very strict, and our guys were trying to circumvent, and they just weren't ready. They just didn't know what they didn't know. So until you've put them in that situation, they're either going to learn or not learn, and some won't learn, and that's up to them. But some will go and will learn and will be better for that experience. So I think we must invest in sending our athletes overseas, sending them on training camps. One of the things that we did with some of my sort of better athletes is we tried to humanize the competition. So what was happening was our athletes were going out, they were good enough to compete with some of these foreign athletes, but they lauded them up as gods, and they just couldn't do it. Now what I did, I sent them on a camp to train with them, and they were as good as them, in some cases better than them, and it humanized that relationship with other athletes. So they started to learn how to socialize with them, and that made a huge difference, because now they're starting to get comfortable with competing against foreign athletes. So there's a perception that the foreign athletes are better. Well, they're not. They might have had better experiences, they might have had better races, better opportunities, but they're not better. That's a concept that we have to break down. We